Fruits are one of those dietary staples we're all encouraged to consume, but sometimes they fall by the wayside amidst our busy lives. What may surprise you is that the world of fruits extends far beyond the familiar favorites. There's a veritable treasure trove of delectable, lesser-known varieties just waiting to be discovered. These unique fruits come in a dazzling array of shapes, colors, and flavors, from the exotic-sounding to the downright peculiar. Join us as we take a closer look at 10 of the most unique fruits you might not have heard of before. Get ready to be amazed and to expand your culinary horizons. Jabuticaba. The first unique fruit on the list is the Jabuticaba. You probably haven't heard of it because it's from Brazil. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though, as the United States has trade agreements with Brazil and other South American countries. The problem is that it's highly perishable. It's not even shipped out of the countries where it's grown because, as we all know, you don't really want to buy a fruit that's going to spoil within a day or two of purchase. You'll want something that will last a bit longer. Unfortunately, the Jabuticaba is not that kind of fruit. If you're trying to eat it outside of South America, it's just not going to happen. Fortunately, we do know some things about it, including what it's supposed to taste like. In this case, it's said to have a grape-like flavor, which I personally love. The Jabuticaba is also said to have a floral taste, which makes sense given that the tree it grows on also produces flowers. You won't be able to just go out and get the Jabuticaba yourself, but if you ever find yourself in Brazil, be sure to look it up and give it a try. You might just like what you taste. Monstera deliciosa. Monstera deliciosa is a very unique fruit, both in terms of its name and how you're supposed to eat it. Apparently, if you try to prepare it the wrong way, things can go bad. Some even joke that you need an instruction manual just to eat it alone, which is quite remarkable when you think about it. However, they're not just playing with you. This fruit has something in its unripe state that can make you regret eating it. It's oxalic acid, which is used to bleach wood and remove rust from metal. You definitely don't want that going inside your body. Those who are foolish enough to try it find that their throats get hurt in all kinds of ways. Despite the warnings, the reason this fruit is called Monstera deliciosa is that when you wait for it to fully ripen, it has a delicious flavor that can't be ignored. It's said to be a mix of various fruit tastes, and it's so good that in the countries where it's grown, they even make it into jam. Buddha's hand. If you were to look at the Buddha's hand, you might think it's either a very messed up fruit or one that's from an alien world, because it definitely doesn't have that typical fruit look. And you're right to have suspicions about it on a certain level. This is a fingered citron, a kind of citrus fruit that differs from other citrus products in several ways. One of the most notable differences is that this fruit has no seeds, pulp, or juice, making it quite unique. Those who know the fruit say it originated in India and was brought to China by Buddhist monks. This isn't that unusual. Over time, the Buddha's hand got a very positive reputation, not just because of its very fragrant smell, but because it became a symbol. But what kind of symbol could a fruit really be? Well, one of happiness and longevity. Just accept it. So much so that the symbols are used as an offering during the new lunar year to try and grow the happiness and longevity of the people. Oh, and here's a fun fact. Before the fruit can be sold, it has to be cleaned, and the shape makes that hard to do, so it can actually take about 30 minutes to clean just one of them. Good luck with that. Cherimoya. You might not have heard of the Cherimoya before, but you'll probably remember it once you see it. Its distinctive skin and shape make it stand out. It's also known as the custard apple in South America, which is a pretty good name. This fruit is special because it's grown in high altitudes. Its nickname is even more fitting than you might think. Unlike more basic fruits, you have to take a bite after peeling this one. It's a custard-like delicacy, and just thinking about it makes your mouth water. As for the taste, it's fruity, with comparisons to pineapples or bananas, which sounds absolutely delicious. Another great thing about the Cherimoya is that it's high in nutrients and other beneficial components, such as antioxidants, which can apparently improve mood, something we could all use. It can also potentially help with eye health and more. However, it's not all good news, as it turns out that if you consume too much of it, some of its benefits might backfire and negatively impact your nervous system. As with all things, moderation is key. Rambutan. Let's talk about the rambutan. This fruit has a lot of potential for those who want to try it. Where you can find it is pretty widespread. It's popular in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and even Australia. That just goes to show how popular it is around the world. As you've probably noticed, the rambutan doesn't look very nice. They're kind of hairy and look like creatures that might live in the sea. But they're actually a fruit. And the word rambutan is actually a reference to their hairy appearance. But don't let the exterior fool you. Once you get past the hairy layer, you'll find a rather sweet treat. In fact, it's a 2-for-1 deal. The insides not only have a section of white fruit to enjoy, but an edible seed for you to snack on as well. Diversification is always appreciated. Moreover, if you do find one of these in the wild and they're actually ripe, they'll usually be red and sometimes yellow. Then you'll be able to eat them after you peel them, with no cooking required. They taste like strawberries and have a really nice aroma. Black sapote. The black sapote is a unique part of history, having traveled to many places around the world. It was brought to Spain in 1692 and eventually made its way to America by the time of the Revolutionary War. When ripe, the exterior of the black sapote is green, but when you cut into it, the interior is a rich chocolate-like color, which is quite tempting. When you take a bite, you'll be met with a very sweet taste that's also quite good for you. In fact, the black sapote contains 6 times the daily recommended amount of vitamin C. People have grown quite fond of the black sapote and have discovered various ways to bring out its delicious flavors. One popular method is to add rum, which, as we all know, can lead to some interesting results. Miracle fruit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a fruit that is a true miracle in our world. Oh, what's this? It's just called a miracle fruit? It's not really a miracle? Well, the real miracle fruit, as it turns out, comes from a shrub in West Africa. And the reason it's called a miracle fruit is that not only can you eat it, but you can also use it in various medicines. For example, it apparently can help treat diabetes, which is something that a lot of people unfortunately have, and it can help correct certain problems that come from chemotherapy. But you may be asking yourself, come on, how does it work? Well, apparently the miracle fruit has a chemical in it that can activate certain things with your tongue to the extent that it will go and make sour things taste sweet, even being used as a sweetener like the product. But don't go believing everyone who says they have a miracle fruit for you. If it is, though, that would be pretty cool. Cupuacu. It should come as no surprise that in a place as vast as the Amazon rainforest, there are all sorts of unique fruits that many people are not familiar with. But as far as the fruit known as cupuacu is concerned, if you get a chance to try it, you're in for a real treat. The natives who harvest it often use it in desserts or make a delicious juice from it. Brazil loves this fruit so much that they've even made it their national fruit, which is a testament to how special and versatile it is. In fact, the seeds can be turned into cooking oil or even beauty products, so it's no wonder Brazil has embraced it as a national treasure. Overall, the cupuacu is a fascinating and flavorful fruit that showcases the incredible biodiversity of the Amazon region. It's definitely worth tracking down if you ever get the chance to try it. The pepino. The pepino is a melon-like fruit that apparently comes from a plant that is a hard worker, which is strange because plants generally have to work hard to survive. But who are we to judge? This is a fruit that's going to have a very unique look. It's mostly yellow, but it also has purple streaks running through it in places. What we can judge is the size. This melon can get pretty big. It's said to be as small as a passion fruit or as big as an adult's hand. And if you want to know how good it is, you don't really need to ask people. Just look at the animals and insects that are attracted to the fruit and are more than happy to eat it. If you want to try it, you'll want to know what it tastes like. Apparently, it can be quite varied, a mixture of cucumber, melon, and honeydew. But to get the best flavor, you have to wait until it's 100% ripe. So be patient, won't you? Dragon fruit. The dragon fruit may be a fruit you're familiar with, depending on how much attention you pay to fruits. It's very popular, but why? Well, it's not because it can summon a dragon, although that would be the best fruit ever if it could. The real reason dragon fruit is so popular these days is that it has a unique look and taste, and it's said to be very healthy for you, which is an immediate reason for most people to try it. Another factor is that you may not have heard of it before because it's grown primarily in Central America and Mexico, and it goes by many other names besides dragon fruit. But none of those other names are as cool as this one. The fruit comes in different colors, just like real dragons, so keep an eye out for them next time you're in the store. The fruit, not the dragons, although that would be quite a sight. You might be surprised at how good they are. And that's all from the world of fruit. What did you think of this look at the fruits of the world that you probably didn't know existed? Are you curious to try some of these fruits now that you know about them? Or are you content not to even touch them? See you next time.